They hovered above the blue marble, a fleet of Imperial dreadnoughts stretching across low orbit like a death curtain. Hundreds of warships, bristling with energy cannons and kinetic railguns, positioned with surgical precision. The Empire symbol, a serpent devouring stars, gleamed across hulls forged in neutron furnaces. Admiral Vortis stood at the prow of his flagship, the tremor of judgment, hands clasped behind his back as he observed the peaceful rotation of Earth below. No shields, no orbital defenses, no counterfleet, just cloud patterns drifting over a planet that hadn't even bothered to turn off its satellite broadcasts. How quaint, he sneered, still transmitting comedy to their atmosphere, not even scrambling military frequencies. Commander Sirlon nodded beside him, expression smug. Primitive. It'll be over before the crew finishes lunch. Are we initiating bombardment, sir? Vortis clicked his mandibles. No. First, let's give them a chance to submit. It'll make the paperwork cleaner. The command was relayed. A channel open to all frequencies. A synthesized voice, regal and cold, echoed through every communication device on Earth. This is Admiral Vortis of the Solarian Empire. Your planet is now under Imperial jurisdiction. You will power down all systems and present your leaders for surrender. Resistance will result in extermination. You have 5 of your Earth minutes to comply. 5 minutes. 5 minutes of silence. 5 minutes of ignorance. Or so they believed. At minute 2, something changed. A single data ping struck their long-range sensor array. It was small, local, almost unworthy of notice, until that ping duplicated. Then again. Then thousands more bloomed like cancer across the Empire's internal datanet, not from space, but from the surface of Earth. Serlin's eyes widened. They're hacking us? Vortis scoffed. Impossible. They'd need quantum-tier computing and simultaneous encryption-cracking algorithms. They just breached our targeting matrix. What? Panic spread through the bridge like fire in dry forest. Across the fleet, ship-wide systems froze. Screens flickered and internal lights dimmed. Navigation feeds inverted. Firing mechanisms began resetting. Then just as quickly, command pathways rerouted. Back to Earth. They're hijacking our control systems, shouted an ensign. I want fire on the surface. Blind bombardment, now. But no commands went through. The tremor of judgment began spinning. Slowly, gracefully, then violently. It was not the only one. Throughout the Imperial fleet, ships twisted against each other, colliding, scraping hulls, venting atmosphere in gory spirals of metal and bone. A dozen dreadnoughts self-detonated, their power cores overloaded. Find the source, roared Vortis. On Earth, the source was silent. It wasn't in a command center. It wasn't in a bunker or a military base. It was scattered, like ghosts in code. From a suburban data engineer's laptop. From a child's modified drone controller. From a machine learning cluster tucked in a solar farm in Nevada. From an underground AI research facility the world's governments pretended didn't exist. Earth had no warships, no orbital cannons, no titanium-plated battleships. Earth had hackers, real-time code warriors trained in chaos, civilian minds that grew up rewriting software just to get better frame rates in games. AI systems designed not for war, but for creativity, and thus unpredictability. The Empire had always relied on structure, chain of command, predictable protocols. It had never imagined its downfall would be written by gamers and data scientists, fueled by coffee and vengeance. 1 minute remaining. Admiral Vortis screamed as his command throne collapsed beneath him, overridden safety features releasing in an instant. He hit the floor as gravity failed, flipping his view upside down. Through the bridge's main viewport, he saw Earth now glowing, not with weapons, but with data. A pulsating network of laser uplinks, microwave spikes, encrypted chaos. A symphony of technological sabotage. Then Earth fired its first shot. It wasn't a missile. It wasn't a laser. It was a signal. A single repeating command string bounced from ground station to satellite to captured Imperial drone and back again. A recursive exploit that looped itself through the Empire's neural command infrastructure. The fleet went blind. All at once. In a heartbeat, artificial intelligence cores screamed and crashed. Life support systems shut off. Emergency protocols activated airlocks. Weapon systems melted down. In a catastrophic harmony of implosion and fire, the entire first line of the fleet collapsed. Over 70 ships blinked out of orbit. Some disintegrated. Some spiraled into the Pacific Ocean. One fell directly into the Sahara Desert, impacting with such force it registered as a magnitude 9 quake. "Admiral," someone shouted, "the fleet is—" But the voice cut off. Admiral Vorda's last memory was a flickering image of Earth's blue horizon as the bridge of the Tremor of Judgment inverted, folded in on itself, and disappeared into white light. It had been 4 minutes and 47 seconds. Above the smoking atmosphere, where once an empire loomed, now drifted silence. A single Earth orbital satellite, repurposed from a weather tracker, began transmitting a simple message. All frequencies, all languages. One phrase, looped eternally: "You came expecting war. You found Earth instead." Back on the planet's surface, nestled in a quiet lab hidden beneath Mount Rainier, a man sipped coffee as the room buzzed with muted cheers. For minutes, 50 seconds, someone grinned. "Damn. Thought we could break for this time," muttered another. The man stood, brushing crumbs off his hoodie. His badge read, UN Global Defense, Cyber Division. But below that, it simply said Allen. He tapped into a secure channel, the only one not disabled in the onslaught. "Command? This is Allen. Fleet neutralized. Recommend cleanup crews." Oh, and maybe tell the UN to finally update our planetary defense classification. Unarmed just doesn't fit anymore. The voice on the other end responded, "Understood. What should we tell the rest of the galaxy?" Allen smiled. "Tell them we were just defending our Wi-Fi." A week later, galactic forums buzzed with panic. The Solarian Empire had gone silent. Entire sectors lost communication. Scouting probes returned with images of scattered wreckage, blackened orbit, and strange electromagnetic patterns lingering in Earth's upper atmosphere. No one knew what happened. No one dared to ask Earth directly. Trade embassies withdrew. Surveillance drones were redirected. War fleets took alternate routes to avoid the Sol system. In whispered forums, encrypted shadow networks, and black site conferences, a new term began spreading. A term not used lightly. Death World ++. Earth, the blue planet, home of chaos-coded war, civilization of untrained geniuses, artificial anomalies, and caffeine-fueled madmen who rewrote war in code. The Empire had come expecting conquest. They didn't last 5 minutes, and Earth never even left their chair.